Hello, everybody. It's Adam with the Pattaya News, and today it's once again our weekly recap. When you're watching this, it's probably going to be about Monday, the 13th of May, but we're recording this over the past weekend on the 11th, and taking place actually on the beach. Can't really see it here, but behind us, we'll explain where we're at in a moment, will be the Doraemon Run, which is a big event this weekend. And as you can see by the overcast skies, it was a little bit sketchy earlier whether or not the run could take place because of the rain, but it's cleared up and that'll be taking place in just a couple of hours. Meanwhile, let's talk about not stuff in the past, since by now the event will be over. Today we are at the Somerset Hotel. We've been here before for a couple of things, and they graciously allowed us to use their rooftop sky lounge on the 24th floor. It's absolutely beautiful up here. And the rooftop sky lounge itself, by the way, does welcome regular customers. You don't have to be staying at the hotel, although the water park area behind us is supposed to be for that. But even coming up here and having a quick drink and checking it out, cheap plug over, it's beautiful. Okay, and we are here, by the way, for a very special event with the Hand to Hand Foundation, helping teach kids. We've done stuff with Hand to Hand in the past, but helping teach kids how to become photographers, and many of them that want to be photographers for a living. Now, enough about that. Let's talk about what you really want to know, the top things in the news this week. I've got really one major topic because it's dominated headlines, and that's the fact about Thailand's prime minister saying that he wants to reclassify cannabis, which is currently decriminalized in Thailand, as an illegal narcotic. Now, cannabis was decriminalized back in 2022, about June, I believe June 9th, I think will be the 2-year anniversary by the prior government. However, it's been very controversial and a very polarizing argument between both prohibitionists and pro-cannabis supporters since then. They have been unable, because people were basically at their wits' end and two polar opposite sides of thought, to ever actually get through concrete final laws for cannabis. Although there are regulations that are in effect, such as you have to be over 20 years old, you can't be pregnant, etc. And there are some basic regulations. The final laws have never come to fruition. And the current government has, led by Thai PM Sethatuisen, has been very public about the fact that he does not support cannabis being legal in Thailand. Now, he does support it for medical and health reasons, but he wants it to be a very set process in which you would need medical certificates. You could possibly only get it from particular pharmacies or hospitals under a very controlled process. Whereas anybody who's been to Thailand in the past 2 years knows that the reality is that now there's an estimated 12,000 cannabis dispensaries across Thailand, with right here in Banglamun estimated at almost 1,500. More than 7-Eleven. So there's a lot of questions. How would they be able to roll this back? Would they shut thousands of businesses and put tens of thousands of people out of work? None of those questions have been answered yet. However, I wanted to overcome a couple of rumors and false headlines and statements that were made and have been made online over the past week. Number one, this is a proposal. It's not a guarantee. Some international news said Thailand it's done, it's set, the law's changing. Not that simple, as anybody who follows Thai politics know. And of course, the opposition to Sethatuisen, who are the pro-cannabis supporters, have already said that they, shocker, do not support this decision unless the Thai government can prove, according to the supporters, that alcohol is safer than cannabis. I'm not going to get into that debate, but it's probably a safe bet that they will not be able to provide that evidence or any sort of fact-check scientific evidence. The main cannabis supporters and entrepreneurs and farming groups say that if the Thai government refuses to look at this scientifically and continues to look at it from a moral or a religious or personal opinion state of view versus science and health, that on the 2-year anniversary of the decriminalization of cannabis, they will hold massive protests in front of Parliament and Government House in Bangkok. They are also looking at significant legal action. The Thai government really doesn't want this. You know, one of the precursors for this is the fact that recently the former Thai public health minister, Dr. Chananan, was removed from his position. Now, the reason for his removal was never publicly clarified by the Prime Minister, but a lot of people speculate that some of it was due to the fact that he had been trapped in the middle, so to speak, on cannabis policy in Thailand between pro and negative groups, and the fact that this former public health minister had recently started to say that the public does not support recriminalizing cannabis and that there needs to be a compromise, whereas the Thai prime minister has said time and time again, including on interviews with foreign media, that he does not support a compromise for recreational use. So what's going to happen? Well, I don't do speculation here. So what I really want to know is I want to hear from you, our viewers, what you think is going to happen here. Now, I'd also like to challenge our viewers. I read your comments. I'm aware of what you say. I'd like to challenge you to look at this from a business point of view and to look at it from an economical point of view and the fact that it is already an over $1 billion industry, and not just the fact that, oh, it smells. I hate the smell. You know, that's not, if we're banning things on smell, I vote for banning durian. Anybody? Probably not going to happen. But I do want to hear your thoughts, and we're going to cover those in a future video. How can any sort of compromise be made here? What's going to happen? A lot of people have predicted that, you know, this so-called 6-month period, which, by the way, they've missed 2 windows already, that this so-called 6-month period of deciding what's going to happen is going to end up with exactly the same status quo. Some people have also predicted that another industry that doesn't exist in Thailand, prostitution, which is illegal, that this may end up similar to that, in which it exists, but it doesn't exist, and people pay to allow shops to be there and to look the other way. Whether or not that happens, who knows, and we will see. The next thing that I wanted to talk about real fast on this week's video is, which has made a lot of news, is that Thai officials in Banglamung have been rounding up, along with Chonburi welfare officials, illegal migrants on the streets after numerous complaints that the illegal migrants have been bothering customers in tourist areas, many of them with children, flower sellers, very aggressive at shops and places. Now, this is nothing new. Many of them carry children, and there's also concerns about human trafficking, that the children may not be theirs. Again, this is nothing new. It's been taking place for many years, but recently the complaints have raised. So as you can see in the footage that our reporters shot earlier this week, actually earlier last week, they have begun to round up illegal migrants in the area. Now, is this going to be a one-off, or are they going to continue doing so? We got a lot of interesting feedback on this too, where some people felt bad, but other people said that they don't feel bad because they feel that these are organized gangs and not necessarily people who are really homeless or need money. Again, I want to hear what you have to think about this. Do you support the rounding up? Have you ever been hassled while at a bar in Pattaya by sellers of random products when you just wanted to relax in peace? Let us know. Last but certainly not least, and the most viral article that we had for the past week, and we'll throw a little bit of the footage on here, is a security guard at a housing estate in East Pattaya decided, probably a poor decision, that he was going to get drunk while working. And he got so drunk, he became shirtless, belligerent, shouting at residents in the area, and police were called. He still didn't calm down. And as you can see in the footage, he ended up having to be forcibly detained. Luckily, nobody was injured, and taken to a nearby police station. Now, it's unclear if he was given any charges. Meanwhile, residents and folks from this village stated that the security guard was actually had a great reputation normally and is well regarded by the community, which kind of leads us here at the news to suspect that maybe he might not lose his job, you know. Anyways, here's the footage. We hope you guys enjoyed it. So, as always, I'd like to invite you guys to like, subscribe, and follow for regular updates right here from Pattaya. I'm going to let you go with one final thing. We're going to do a reminder on this on next week's video. The next big event coming up is not really an event at all, but it's the fact that, well, it is an event, but not a beach event, is that the fact that the 22nd of this month, that's a Wednesday, will be a religious holiday. It will also be an alcohol sales ban for 24 hours, which means the bars and nightlife will be closed. So mark that on your calendars in advance so you don't get surprised. Have a great week, everybody. Take care.